Right, let's open the governance committee. You, me, and we're missing Bob. Missions and goals. It's all pretty clean then.
Well, I don't know. I'd like to revisit these because I don't think we always consistent in doing these. We made them 100 years ago.
All right.
So. The first one's not a problem, right?
Right.
Focus on government relations, including inviting select officials. I don't know, these 4 times a year. I don't think we've done that either, have we?
We have actually over the last couple of years is we've had different members from the ledge, including the chair, attend multiple meetings throughout the year.
You're right. Sorry.
So we have done that. What we did a couple of years ago, if you recall, is we went beyond that to say we want them to come to IDA meetings, we want to go where they are. So we're going to present to county planning committee, full ledge, town supervisors, association of mayors. So keeping a focus on that sort of outreach.
So we've been doing that. Let me think. The goal of 4 years good, right?
Yes.
And then the ABO training, we're all up to date on that.
I believe our new board members need to get up to speed on that. But for our existing board, I believe everyone, perhaps with the exception of Bob, is up to speed on their training.
So he's the only one that's left to take it.
Unless he has it and he hasn't shared it, but Tracy and I can follow up on that.
All right.
And that the next one is, I guess, the one that we always kind of run into, but we put it off this year, so.
Right, we should really maintain that. That may look too chaotic this year.
Yeah, we're consistent. Staff, that's been good. I think your report that you include each month in the packet is very helpful. The summary of what you're doing.
Good.
So when we were in Aurora, we discussed the possibility of maybe like periodically going somewhere else for our meetings. Because that was kind of nice to be there and hear from them. I wonder if that's something we should think about going forward, even if it's just a couple times a year. I mean, I know it's easy just to fall into the same habit, but that was kind of nice.
Absolutely.
Right. I don't think we need to add as a goal, though. We can just do that.
One thing that Ada is doing now is as part of the monitoring policy, some of our site visits, we're actually just doing our board meetings on site.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Our projects.
Yes.
And we count that as the site visit per year.
Good.
So it
I
kills
like
2 birds with 1 stone.
And probably not the solar projects, but yeah.
No. Less interesting than other than this.
Yeah.
Did everyone do their surveys?
I think we had
Evaluation.
6 or 7, Tracy. Nope.
Okay.
Cool.
Now-
Now things have like switched over too, so.
Yes, and we do have the results of that in the packet.
Right.
We had 6 out of 7 respond.
So did you give us like the tally on that again, like you usually do, like?
So the summary of results is in the packet.
Well, was there anything on the bylaws?
Well,
Skip that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the next thing.
I think when we talked about the bylaws last, which was,
Signed last year.
but we talked about, at one of our other meetings, I thought, we talked about adding the, communication policy.
So that is in your
Right.
packet today. So when I spoke with Andy, I don't know, a week or 2 ago, it was on the agenda and remains on the agenda for the full board packet. But I did agree with Andy that governance should speak about it. So it's in your packet there.
Yeah, that's right. What we're calling.
So then Andy said on an email today
And he did.
Did you not get it? Did you
Yeah.
copy him, Michael?
Oh, maybe not.
Oh, that's,
No.
let's see.
Oh, and David read through the treasurer. Part of this.
Here we go.
I got a hard copy.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I'm sorry, Ben. Michael.
That's not what you sent out. That's really long.
That's the code of conduct, that part. And then that's what
So the code of conduct is what you recommended for us in the first section?
no, that's in our existing,
Oh, so this is, the top part is our existing.
yeah,
Okay. So we just need to confirm that, right? So I think Andy's email, which sorry, Michael, I assumed that you were copied on it. And I don't even know who else you sent it to.
wow.
Okay. So I think he's basically saying that we don't really need to have a separate policy. We can have it right in the code of ethics.
Mhm.
The only thing I have a concern about what you're proposing, which is basically saying further the board members along with the officers and staff of the agency shall refrain from representing themselves in the media as representing the agency without consent of the board, or in the rare cases of emergency, the consent of the chairman. Furthermore, the board members, it's the same. So what you're basically saying is, and this I really got kind of a little chuckle out of, that shall refrain from lobbying the Cayuga County legislature or agencies on matters concerning the agency without consent of the board.
Right,
What made you come up with that one?
well, that was in the other part too.
Okay, okay. All right, yeah, I think that's a real fair statement. The only concern I have with all of this, that my personal feeling is that there has to be a spokesperson, right? There has to be a lead person, and that's why we all have jobs and we volunteer. And we pay, because our priority is our own job, right? So so I think to say that even the staff and I guess the staff would even include Tracy or Michael, which they're not staff, they're contracted. I think it still needs to say the appointed person is the director.
I think that's already in the
Because I
director's
kind of read it.
responsibilities.
But this kind of says, like, no one has the right to speak to the media, or no one should be out lobbying. Get it? That makes sense. But there needs to be a point person, and that should be our director.
Mhm.
And the director should be still talking to the chairman, which makes sense because that's what you usually do, right? But we have to have somebody who's the face of us, that's out there representing us. We can't just leave it so flat,
I think that's in the director's
Yeah, but then this contradicts it.
description.
It says, furthermore, board members, officers, and staff shall refrain from representing themselves in the media, represent an agency without consent of the board. Like, I just think that that's like crazy. Like, we're paying a director, whether it's Michael or someone else. They need to be communicating stuff to the chairman, but they need to be the front. They need to be the one. So I think that what you're saying is good, like you're summarizing it down to just this, but it needs to be specific.
Phrase that.
So you can just say like, add something in there like, outside of the responsibilities and the bylaws. The responsibilities are outlined in the bylaws. So you're referring to the responsibilities of the director in the
Yeah,
bylaws.
yeah.
Okay. Cause yeah, I just think that he, or she, whatever, whoever the director is, still needs to be the one. I mean, that's why we're paying them,
No, right. I see your
we
point.
want them to be like.
It's not like
they-
nobody can talk.
Well, we specifically want that person to, that's why we're paying them.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
got
then
that.
to fall underneath that, like, but this also is gonna be directly Herb Marshall.
Up there,
Well, it says lobbying the Cayuga County legislators.
Yep.
And he's doing that. I know he is.
mhm,
So I think that's great that you added that there.
Yeah.
At least it's something to fall back on,
yeah,
because he's gonna get somebody in trouble. Something's gonna happen eventually.
yeah,
And I don't think he means ill by it,
oh, no,
but it's out of control.
yeah,
So that would be my opinion. And then I do think we need to, shorten this down and mention it at our next, at our board meeting, saying that this is the policy that we recommend that's added to the code of ethics, which makes sense,
all right.
which really still makes the director the point person, but everyone else needs to zip it.
Well, you're still, you're still a free citizen of the United States.
Right, but you can't represent
But you
it.
can't represent the IDA.
Like Herb's comment in the paper referenced the IDA's office space and the electric and everything, right? So that wasn't a personal comment, that was a board comment, because he was involved in that process.
I don't even remember the article anymore, but yeah. Yeah, if he was representing the IDA, that was,
That he
mistake.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, so other than that, I think it makes sense to shorten it. Is there anything else that we might be missing, Michael?
The only comments I have is on this here is what's in the packet for the proposed communications policy. It's more comprehensive, so it lays out in greater detail of how board members and contracted staff are supposed to act in both the social media, electronic setting, and public setting. So it's more definitive in what that looks like. So if something were to come up, you can point back to that. I think this addition to the code of ethics really condenses that there.
Mhm.
So long as there's mutual understanding amongst the full board and your contracted staff of this is really just a condensed version of what we're looking at and need everybody to be in compliance with it so that there's full understanding going forward. That's my
Yeah,
comments.
I mean, I think coming up in, that the whole, I'm like impressed that Andy came up with this extra piece to add about lobbying the county legislators or agencies, because it's hard to have, 2 or 3 people going out there trying to do the same thing that we're paying you to do. And it sends mixed messages to people. So I think that's good
So
there.
man's in control, right?
Well, that's why we sit on the board, we volunteer, we're not getting paid, we're here to advise, right? And we're here to make decisions, but we're not here to control it,
Yeah.
right? We can control it with votes, but that's why we're paying a director.
Mhm.
So I think, like business wise, looking at it as a business standpoint, and you are in a good management position, like that's the right business
I told,
mindset,
yeah, I had 100 people working for me,
yeah. So,
so you gotta have,
yeah. One person's gotta be in charge.
yeah,
Can't have everybody trying to do the same thing.
yeah, you got chaos.
It's really easy to confuse people these days.
Yeah, especially in a small town. Of everybody's thoughts.
The other thing, David Stain went through the treasurer's,
Are you're meeting with,
responsibility.
the treasurer's responsibility.
Yeah. So I think, we've kind of evolved with you, Tracy. So it's kind of a mixed,
Because there's also a section in there about the acting treasurer.
yeah. So I think there needs to be a little more. Is there an acting?
So what specifically is he asking about?
Well, we appointed him the treasurer.
Yeah,
Yes, and sections 4 of your bylaws say the treasurer and CFO shall not be a member of the board. You know, that's what Tracy is.
So it's kind of like there's a board treasurer and then
Oh.
there's a active like a.
So contradicts.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, this doesn't really reflect how we actually.
no, that's what he was saying.
Well, especially now that we have contracted services versus staff, right?
You know, so we've got that secretary position, so who's the secretary,
That goes me,
right? And then who's the treasurer,
me,
right?
yeah,
So
so,
what's poor David doing then?
so there's like the board treasurer and then there's the acting treasurer, is what we've been calling. it.
That's what
how
I-
we have
yeah,
it,
that's
But that's
my
not what it
impression.
says in here.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a good point, but this doesn't really reflect how we actually operate.
yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's one of the reasons, it is kind of good to get new people, because
They see stuff.
they actually read and say, what the heck is this?
So we need to revise that.
Right.
Well, or, I don't know, or
Clean it up.
appoint Tracy as the secretary treasurer.
Yeah, we might have already done that in the annual resolution. I think really it's more about, missing that board treasurer role. And, or board treasurer slash secretary role.
And he said he didn't want to be a secretary.
That's not, call it that.
No, I'm good. It's teasing.
So in regards to, I have a question with your, like. Do we have anything on subcommittees, like when we form a committee, like the land committee? Is there anything in the bylaws regarding that?
Not that I'm aware.
It's just an ad hoc.
So who oversees that and controls that? Like, like it's not structured.
Nothing in there.
There's some language I can propose about, standing and special committees.
Yeah, I think, right, there should be something to mention that. And also, whatever committee that is, I still think the person that we're paying to work for us needs to be involved in it, like that person should be involved in all subcommittees.
We took them for a ride. What did they?
Who,
Literally, not figuratively.
they should,
And I believe his exact question was, did you bring me out here to kill me? Is that it?
That's true.
You're in the wilderness.
well, if they didn't sign the new media policy,
Yeah. Yeah, he should be in
the subcommittee, see, well, like she said, make it broad, whatever, there's a subcommittee, the director should be involved.
yeah. But they don't really have any,
Power,
they don't have any authority to commit to anything. They
Right.
can just go look.
they can't talk to people.
Well, they can talk to people, but they can't make any
I
commitments.
can't make any commitments, and I never have without the boards.
No, but I'm talking about the subcommittees,
The same thing.
like the land committee.
Yeah, they would have to.
So
bring
they
that
can't
to
go
the
out and
board.
start negotiating or anything like that.
Well, I think they can talk to folks, but they can't
I-
find anything.
I can't say on that. It wouldn't make sense to me, for members of that committee to do that without the full board's, knowledge. I would certainly say that the, director should be involved with that to help lead discussions.
But I also like, just like using the land thing as an example, because it could be another committee, who knows? Like the office committee, trying to find an office.
Right,
When you have 3 or 4 people out there talking to different people and landlords about rent and what the cost is and everything, it just sends like a confusing message. Like one person should be doing that. So it's the same thing with land. If you have different people out there stopping and going, hey, what do you want for this? What's the price, blah, blah, blah. I sit on the IDA board, get the information, email it to you, again, as our paid person to filter through it. But if we're gonna start like Herb coming here and negotiating the rent for the office, and I'm using that as an example.
Right,
I mean, if this is a big purchase sale of a property we want to buy, do we want that happening? So I think getting the information and compiling it and coming back and saying, hey, this is the office space that we like the most. And this is why, and here's the rents, or, here's what we heard about the rents.
but it.
You negotiate it or you
Right.
follow up. Same thing with the land, like, hey, drove by, we went and we saw all these sites. Here's what we found out about them. That's all here's what we found out about them. Now, here, the one person that we're paying to do this, go represent and find out more.
Mhm.
But I think if you start negotiating individually, it's gonna send a really wild message.
No, but if you're gonna look at lit property, you gotta know the price. It's just like,
Yeah,
if you're gonna look at houses, right?
Mm.
This one's, if your budget's 400 and this one's 600, there's no sense even bothering. So you gotta know the price a little bit. But they shouldn't be signing purchase offers or,
well, they shouldn't even,
Given
they
that
shouldn't even be
that-
negotiating. Yeah, on behalf of the board,
no, but they can ask the price.
they can ask the price,
Yeah. Then the negotiations are
right?
another deal. All right, so do you have the minutes from the last, did we appoint David as secretary and treasurer?
Mhm.
So we should probably change that.
I think I just put it in the minute as treasurer because.
Mhm.
know that we,
Yeah, I'm sorry, Deb.
No, so when's your next meeting's at 3? So does that make sense? Are we making sense?
It does make sense.
So
Make-
we'll review that as an overview at our board meeting after today.
Yes, so this committee here, as part of our regular meeting, is one of you will speak on behalf of this committee to say we went over these, want to readopt the bylaws with the following adjustments, such as the officer details. Tracy and I will take a look at that to modify it as such. Similar with mission and goals, to make any massages there as have been noted, update to the code of ethics. So long as there's full understanding by the board, what the communication policy was meant to encapsulate, so should be everything.
But the standing committee will have to. We'll have to do that later.
You're come up with something to put in the
Yeah,
bylaws for
there's
that?
pretty
Yeah,
typical language available.
Okay, so we can mention that we're gonna add that to the bylaws though, right?
Yeah, and we can bring it to a meeting in the future to say this is what we're looking at.
right.
Adding in as a revision, and then we'll need the board to adopt.
Now, does the attorneys need to review these changes to the bylaws at all, or?
They will.
Yeah, okay.
Hello. Hey. Doesn't look like that.
Is that everything?
You doing
Well-
one today?
So did we, what time is that?
I didn't know. This is-
It is 2:52.
So then the last thing was the survey.
Yeah, that's in there just before the bylaws or the communications policy.
Right, there's nothing really there.
All right, I'm gonna jump out because we're done. I'll let you guys get going with your next committee meeting. We'll be back.
All right, so there's nothing really outstanding with
You can take a look through that to
Oh.
know what the results were, see the back of it.
It's trying to come forward now. Oh.
There it is.
Yeah, but it's pretty much everybody agrees. All right. Then if we make the change to the ethics, we should probably give that to those guys. And table it so they have some time to look at it.
Well, there's not really gonna be that much of a change to it, right? It's just that small section.
No, we wanted to put something in the middle, Michael.
Oh, yeah.
A little way.
Okay, yeah, the director.
So I'll draft some language up and then we can circulate it. And
Bring
then,
it to the next meeting.
yeah, we don't die in a hurry.
But, yeah, I know.
Well, the weird part is, right, the only,
Are we all done? Should we adjourn?
yeah, we're adjourned.
You do need, okay. Time, Tracy, is 2:54, thank you.
The weird part is, it's like I'm on